All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue where we left off last week. So I'm going to go into my Google Drive. You should be able to find, if you can get into your Google Drive, you should be able to get into some of the SketchUp stuff. I have a folder here for SketchUp that we made last week, and any pictures I saved. Now, I did save a whole lot in that folder. What I'm going to do is, if you can't locate that stuff, go into your waffle and then scroll down until you find SketchUp for Schools. This is where I've saved a lot of my stuff. There might be a folder when you open this up that says SketchUp, then you can click on that. Mine will have some pictures that you can see that I've been working on. You can always go up to the top here where it says Create New and open up a new picture. So we're going with feet and inches. And then we're going to leave this guy here for scale for right now, but he'll probably go away after a while. So what you guys are going to create for today, we're going to work on this week, and then next week we're going to finish it up with some sweet details. We are going to make an island paradise. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of our sky a little bit. We want to kind of look down at the ground, and we want to pan this guy out. Now, we don't want to make him too small. We don't want to lose him, but I'm going to orbit this down a little bit so that we're kind of looking straight down on him. And then I'm going to take the pencil and I'm going to use the freehand button. And if it's blue, then I know it's on the ground, and I'm just going to make myself a really wide organic shape. So there's no perfect way to do this, but I am going to fill this space the best I can. All right. And I'm working from there. And then inside of this, I'm going to make a second one that is going to be my island. So I want to have a little bit of that water showing. All right. And again, until you get the shape you want, you can edit, undo, different things. This is going to be my ground here in a moment. But what I want to do is maybe raise this up just slightly. So now this will be my water, and this will be my island. And I am going to orbit so that we're a little flatter, and I'm going to come into my working space right here. So in our island paradise, before we start dumping paint and things like that, there's a PDF that comes with your Google Classroom today, whoever has art for the day, and a list of requirements for your island paradise. I'm going to read some of those off. So we need a land surrounded by water, so this is going to be our island. Eventually this is going to be our water. All right, that's one thing. We need one or more buildings, and I highly recommend when you start constructing those buildings that you work with the rectangle shape and not use a pencil to draw those out. It's a little bit easier. You can kind of customize this however you want. Look at your character here. This guy is your scale, even though he's a little bit into the island. All right. Just because you've got one box doesn't mean you can't branch off and have a couple. You know, we can have this building do all kinds of things. Okay? So one or more buildings. I'm probably going to have a couple buildings on here, even though the island's not very big. And then we need a triangled roof. And there are a couple ways to make those triangles. A lot of times what I'll do is I will expand the building up a little bit, and then from there I will work on maybe carving out a triangle. When I do this, it doesn't necessarily mean that the whole roof has to be triangular. We just want to show a triangle roof somewhere on there. So here I made my roof or my building a little bit bigger, and then I drew those lines. They have to be connected for them to highlight blue. But now I can click and drag these off, and I think I'm only going to go part way. If I go all the way and I go to offset, it will remove them, and you can do that. But I think I'm going to keep mine so that they are just partly on there, and I want to have this part flat because I think I'm going to put some type of lookout tower or maybe even a pool up there. I don't know. So I'm working on my island oasis. So triangle roof has to be represented on there. You have to do 6 or more windows. Again, I recommend using one of these shapes, circles. You know, you can draw these on here however you want. We need 6 or more of those windows. They can be as big or as small as you want. We're going to have a front and back door. So a way to get in the front, maybe one in the back. Should have two entryways and 2 exit ways there. And then we need to have some type of gathering area. You know, maybe if you have a fire pit, or you can get as extreme as you want. Maybe there's a half-court basketball on here or something like that. You know, so we want a place where people are going to gather and have a good time and sit and chat. And then you also want to make some type of dock. So, oops, we go to the rectangle here. Some type of dock for your boat. So I might stick with something like this. See how that works. I might have some type of dock here connected to my island. I might make that a little bit more fancier. All right. And then landscaping, there'll be some different trees. We can save the landscaping till next week, just so that I can show you how to put some of that stuff in there. But we want to start thinking about some of the foliage that we want on there, bushes, trees, walkways, things like that, maybe lighting. All right. And then you can add, I want you to add something unique, something that's going to be unique to you. I might have a water slide that comes off the top of the house or something like that. Or maybe this is a giant trampoline, or I have one in the middle of the water. Something that's going to be unique that I want in there that maybe nobody else is going to have in their island paradise. All right. And then you get to start putting in the details. So any little extras that you want to put in there, maybe this is a helicopter pad up here, and that's how you can get there back. We do want a dock so that we can have some type of boat or some type of way to go on the water and maybe go to the land, and start putting those details in. I recommend not adding too much color and materials just yet. You know, if I start putting water in here, this might alter some of my drawing. You know, maybe I want to put, what do we got here? I could make some kind of sand in there if I wanted to. Maybe it's mostly grass. All right. But if I start drawing on here, once I have some of those things, you know, maybe I wanted to add another little hut over here. Well, then when I do that and I've already got paint, now it's going to be mostly green. So I'll have to change those colors if that's what I want. I'm going to edit, undo that, and I'm going to keep it kind of gray until I'm ready. Now, if you're going and you realize that you need a little bit more space, or maybe the water needs to expand a little bit more, you can always bring it back down like so, and then redraw with a freehand. You can expand that water out if you need to see a little bit more of that. All right. You can see that was at the edge of my paper there. So with this being the way it is, if I wanted to, I go back in. I forgot what kind of water I added. I can add some more. Maybe it was this one. There we go. And I can erase that line, I think, in the middle here. And then that makes my water a little bit larger area to cover. So we can definitely have quite a bit of water in our spacing. So we want to get those requirements in. Again, I said we're working on it this week. I'm going to go over with class how to start putting the island together. And then we want to get those requirements that are on that PDF. And then we want to start thinking about what we want on our little island oasis. All right? So good luck with that. I can't wait to see some of the creativity. And if you got questions, email me. Should be able to find everything you need in your Google Drive. If you can get to your Google Classrooms, you should be able to pull up SketchUp for Schools, and you can start drawing on that. All right? Again, next week, that's what we're working on, so you'll probably just get a reminder to finish up. If I come up with some new steps, I'll send out a video for you guys, and we can go from there. All right? We'll see you next week.